Hello and welcome to Cooking Corner with Chef Beck, where we throw out our instructions and make our own creations. Today we'll be making glazed donuts. So for this recipe, you will need just baked donuts in a beautiful donut box. So there's our fresh donuts. A nice clean piece of paper to present our glazed donuts in. We have our two glazes. Now I'm hoping this one is a white glaze and this one is definitely a chocolate glaze, but I'm going to pair the white glaze with these cute little colourful sprinkles, and then the chocolate glaze is going to have the white chocolate chips. So let's get making. Extra supplies that we will need is a UV light. This one I got off of Amazon, which I can put a link in the description so you can see what I'm using. It just has a little UV blue light in it to make your projects set quicker. You can use sunlight, but it does take longer. You will need a toothpick or maybe a couple of toothpicks because this helps get it on with the finer details. And your must-have is alcohol swabs or a liquid, and that way you can clean up any instant messes with your alcohol swabs. Even on your hands, if resin gets on your hands, make sure you've got them on hand to clean up straight away. So we're just going to remove our donuts and pop them on our little mess mat. Actually, we might do one at a time. And we might start with our glaze. Again, I'm hoping our glaze is actually white so that I can do this. Otherwise, we might have to change up our recipe just a little bit. If I can get the lid off. I'll be back. I need some extra tools to get this one off. Okay, so I've just discovered this one is a pink glaze, which I might change up the sprinkles to the yellow and white ones, only because we're going to lose the pink sprinkles. This is a great thing about being a chef. You can decide on the spot what you're going to do, as long as it tastes good. But I do not recommend eating any of this. Actually, don't eat any of this because it's not good for you at all. Yep. So I'm just checking to see if there's a good side and a bad side. That one looks like the top, so we're going to go with that one. Now I do use a toothpick for this because you've got more control over how much goes on. I do find those pouring, put that down there. I do find the pouring ones are a little bit, the holes are too big. So I'm going to try and get all the resin down to that line so it gets a good thick coating. You also have to be careful too how thick or thin the resin is, because it runs pretty fast and then you end up with resin everywhere and it just doesn't look good. This one seems to be nice and thick, so hopefully we got a bit of working time with it. So this may be a longer process, but I do like it because it's more precise. my hands are never big enough. Okay, the tongs aren't going to work, so I'm going to pick it up, and I'm probably going to get some on my hands, but that's okay, I can clean it up. So if you've got little kids doing this, I do recommend adult supervision because you don't want that resin going into their mouths. Just trying to get it into the middle there. I do have resin on my hands, so I'm going to clean myself up quickly. Probably should be wearing gloves, but I do find it very difficult unless the gloves are molded to your hand. I do find them difficult to work with. But that's just my personal opinion. So if you can wear gloves, I suggest wearing gloves. Just going to put our lid back on so that our resin doesn't dry out in the sun. And for our cute little sprinkles. Oops. Now I've got a mess to clean up, but that's okay. Just going to tap these on. Actually, that looks really good. And then I'll quickly put our UV light on top so it sets super fast. And you're going to see in real time how fast it actually sets. So if that was done in the sun, I think the instructions say 5 to 10 minutes. But that's where I find that the resin will have dripped everywhere. So if you can get yourself a good UV light that sets really quickly, your projects will be a lot nicer. Okay, so let's get a plate for that one. Just going to set this over here. Oops. If you feel any sticky bits in the bottom, just set that as well, or clean it off with your clean it off with your alcohol swabs. But as there's not much on there, I'm just going to set that pretty quickly. Right, just going to set the sides. Now, if you've got yourself also a UV nail lamp, which I have, I'll set these after properly. You can set them under there and just let it sit. That's for extra UV light, just so that you know that they're not super sticky. If you don't set them properly, sometimes they will leak later and it's just a complete mess. All right, now I've got lots of sprinkles to clean up. All right, so there's our gorgeous donut. Can't really see the pink on it, but that's okay. It is what it is. You could do another layer and set that again to make it super thick. Right, now for our chocolate donut. I might just zoom in just a little bit more for this one. That way you can see what we're doing. So chocolate. This one's actually a little bit sticky. I'd say it's leaked. So I'll just have to be careful with this one. If I can get it open. All right, I'm going to be back. Okay, so we have a bit of an issue. I was assuming that that was going to be chocolate, which it's not. It's white. So I'm going to swap out the white chocolate chips And I'm going to go with the pink, if I can find it. There we go. Is that pink, purple and green sprinkles. So we use those instead. So this feels like a nice thick glaze as well. Can work with this one really well. This is actually going to be really good for our cinnamon scrolls, which I'm hoping we get to make next time. Again, only pick these up if you've got alcohol swabs, because you will never wash this off with water. The more you use resin, the more you'll understand how it works. That's why I recommend toothpicks. A, because you can throw them away, and B, you get more control. Make sure we get it all in the middle so it looks nice and even. Actually, this resin's actually that good that you could probably give it some texture. That's if you're quick to set it. Oh, okay, I'm going to have to leave that alone. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with it everywhere. Make sure you put your lid straight on. Lids on. And sprinkles. Tappa tappa. Tappa tappa. That's actually really cute. Oh, I'm happy with my donuts. And our UV light to set. Now you can actually move these with your toothpick around if you wanted to make them a little bit more even. I like the natural placement of things because that's what you do in chefing. You want it to look organic. All right, let's test to see if this is set. Slightly sticky. I just have to remember to look through the camera and that you're on screen. I have a habit of moving and not looking through the screen, and then nobody can see what I'm doing. But also it's hard to hold my microphone in a spot where you can hear me with no hands. All right. So I'll just do these quickly and I'll put these under the other UV light later. But here is my beautiful donuts. Right, now for our box, just need to put our paper in there to make it look nice. That's better. So we have our lined donuts. Thank you for joining me for Cooking Corner with Chef Beck. And next time we will make our cinnamon scrolls. I'm just going to work out how I'm going to decorate those. And enjoy your beautiful donuts. I'll box them up for you so that you can take them with you. Here you go. Enjoy.